It's day 7. Day 7. Day 7. Hi there, and welcome to day 7 for our Vlogmas 2025 cycle, where we are focusing on prayers, affirmation, and declarations. Today is an amazing day because we are going to be moving closer to thinking about the elements that surround the birth of Jesus Christ. And today's video is titled Living Out Our Major Moments, What the Birth of Jesus Teaches Us About Purpose. So for the next few videos leading up to Christmas, I'm going to be starting our sessions with prayer, with the affirmation and the declaration. And then for the second part, for the last 5 minutes, we'll share on the key thoughts in terms of what we're learning from, obviously, the title that I've chosen for the day and the focus area in terms of the story of Jesus and him coming to the earth. It's so hot today on the day that I'm recording this, but let's get into it. So the first prayer that we are the prayer for day 7, and if you're on me here, there is a free printable that I've created. I need to just sit back and relax. Yes, if you're on here, I have created a 25-day prayers, affirmations, and declarations printable that you can download. Check it out on my links on my profile, or you can check it on the description box in this video. You can go to download it and just have it on your phone so that you're able to open it every morning, say the prayer, open it every evening, say the prayer, say the affirmation and the declaration. So day 7 prayer says, Lord, increase my spiritual sensitivity and help me to hear your voice clearly. Increase my spiritual sensitivity and help me to hear your voice clearly. The affirmation is that I am guided, I am protected, and I am spiritually aligned. And the declaration says that this coming year, I walk with discernment and divine accuracy. I walk with discernment and divine accuracy. And we say all of this, what we say to all of this, amen and amen. My son is awake, and like I said in one of my earlier Vlogmas videos, that he's always up when I'm recording my Vlogmas videos. I think for the other videos that I recorded, he was with my husband, but for today's video, we're here in his nursery. If you're only new here, I'm a new mom, just had this little boy, and he's turning 3 months this Friday. So exciting. I'm just gonna pause this video so that I give him his pacifier, so that he's not too worried. No, but he's okay. He's looking like the thinking man right now. I don't know what he's thinking about. How do babies think? Do they think in color? Do they think in sound? Do they think in the words that we say? Let's ponder. Share in the comments if you have the answers. But for our key thought for day 7 truly is for God to heighten our spiritual sensitivity and for us to be able to hear his voice clearly. And for me, since we have a bit of time in terms of the first part, something that's been happening lately with my son, it's like I felt I was smothering him or giving him too much attention and holding him for too long. And there was a point where the Holy Spirit was like, my sister, put the child down. You're going to create a problem when you go back to work. And I think it was a few days ago. So now I've developed, and I'm developing, smiling. I'm developing a habit of being able to rock him to sleep and give him maybe 15 minutes chest time, and then put him down. Right, so today it didn't really work when I put him down, because I think when I sneezed I woke him up. But then eventually when I put him down, he slept, and I was able to sit and plan my Vlogmas videos, right? And now we're here, he's awake. But anyways, let's get into the second part of the video. I'm going to commit to making my videos 10-minute long for all the days. I guess 11 minutes, including the worship moment, right? So for day 7, our focus is on Galatians 4, verses 4 to 5. I'm just going to read it in your hearing. I think the sun has just gotten into the clouds. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, to the Romans. First and Second Corinthians, Galatians, yes. Galatians 4 verse 4 to 5 says, "But when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons." I like the version says the adoption into sonship. Into sonship. And the title of today's session is What the Birth of Jesus Teaches Us About Purpose. And what we're seeing from Galatians 4 verse 4 to 5 is that this was a preordained, I'd say when God created Jesus, it was on purpose. Even before time, I think when you read through the Old Testament, you can see his plan of salvation in how he postures himself in the different lives of the people, of the patriarchs that we meet throughout the Old Testament. When you look at the story of Abraham and having to sacrifice Isaac, where God provided the ram in the thicket that was sacrificed and that saved Isaac. I feel like in all those moments he was kind of demonstrating what he's going to do for us with Christ, with him coming to the earth in human form. So what do we learn about purpose? So I've been reading this storybook called Nativity Play that my son got from my friend, and we learn about the story of Jesus, the fact that he was born in a manger. Mary and Joseph arrived in Bethlehem at night. There's no room in the inns, and the third innkeeper was like, "Hey, you can stay in my manger," right? And Jesus was born in a manger. And as we think about purpose, I want for us to think about our manger moments, our starting moments, where we started, the moments where we might feel as though they're humble beginnings, but God is going to use them for a bigger purpose, right? So the story for me that I wanted to share was when I started my coaching business and I started providing coaching sessions. I think I was 28 and I was so nervous, guys. I remember I coached a lady who was way older than me, so older than me. But every time I got into the sessions, I had the confidence to deliver the coaching programs as designed. Hey, hello, Pankos. Hey, we're gonna add an extra minute because of that. Hey, hello, my Pankos. Hello, my soon kanunas. Hey, I'm gonna feed him after this video. So I'm just going to read through a few thoughts that are focusing us for today's video, and then I'll just share my thoughts after that, right? If God could use a manger, he can use my life, he can use your life, right? Purpose is revealed and not rushed. And personally, I've wanted to rush it in many points in my life. And I think what I'm seeing with my YouTube is that I'm learning to trust the process, you know? Purpose is born from humble places. Your purpose doesn't need perfect conditions. It needs obedience. I'm going to read that one again. Your purpose doesn't need perfect conditions. It needs obedience. That's what he said. And then the last 2 points, God prepares purpose in obscurity before he reveals it publicly. God reveals or prepares purpose in obscurity before he reveals it publicly. And the last point is that purpose is about service and not status. Jesus' arrival was a gift and not a performance. So for day 7, I'd want for us to go to Matthew and read. I think I prefer the version in Mark, but read the story of how Jesus came to be born for yourself. In Matthew, I believe it's in Matthew, chapter 1, all the way to all the way to chapter yeah, all the way to chapter 2, end of chapter 2. Yeah. So go read it for yourself, and get an appreciation for the reason, for the season. Tempted to use that as the title, but it's okay. Living in our manger moments, I like it. And I want to challenge you to maybe think about it and share in the comment what you are currently navigating as I go feed this boy. What you are currently navigating as your manger moment. It could be in business, it could be even personally, emotionally. Maybe you're navigating, managing your emotions, your mental health, your relationships, your finances. What is it? And what does your manger moment look like currently, and how can you invite God into that moment? And also lastly, how can you find a new perspective in terms of looking at it differently, to say God is working out something in this small beginning, right? And I believe that even through my YouTube, God is working out something in this small beginning. But otherwise, thank you for watching this video. I'm going to share with you additional verses that you can read after this. Jeremiah 1 verse 5, Jeremiah 1 verse 5, Luke 2 verse 10 to 11, Luke 2 verse 10 to 11, and John 18 verse 37. John 18 verse 37, as we appreciate what the birth of Jesus teaches us about purpose, and also Matthew 1 and Matthew 2, the full chapters. Thank you for watching. See you on day 8. Bo, 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 bo. Worthy is your name, Jesus. You deserve the praise. Worthy is your name. Worthy is your name, Jesus. You deserve the praise. Worthy is your name. It was my cross you bore, so I could live in the freedom you died for. And now my life is yours, and I will